How do we take a real-life scenario, Operation Market Garden, which really happened, add music to it, and put it in a game? That's what this video is all about as we break down this Michael Giacchino piece from Medal of Honor Frontline, a game from a bygone era of war games. Let's listen. This is interesting to me because we understand now, looking at history, that Operation Market Garden wasn't completely a success. The main goal was to liberate Dutch cities and towns along the way, to limit V2 rocket launching sites, and to secure a bridgehead over the Rhine River into Germany, but that wasn't successful. And so when you hear this music, and you hear this solo soprano, or it could be a boy soprano, I'm pretty sure it's a solo soprano, there is this feeling of hope in there that is interesting because, I mean, that's what they had to go on. This is the beginning of the mission. This is the pre-start of the mission. In that trumpet, you do hear a bit of hope as well. And it's very interesting because when the piece starts, there is so much tension here. There is this duality between the solo soprano, which is a very hopeful melody, but then you have that tension in the strings. Whereas now we've entered into, okay, we are going to do this. We are going to liberate these towns. We are going to push forward. And I think that dichotomy is very interesting. There's a lot of pensiveness here. There's a lot of apprehension. There's a lot of concern. There's a lot of, okay, how do we move forward? How do we do this? And you hear that in the what's to come? Where are we going? How are we going to make this a success? This is not surprising from a composer like Michael Giacchino, this kind of movie-like quality, and especially when we look at the games that were coming out that were based around this: Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Brothers in Arms. A lot of this style is written like almost like a biopic, right, that we happen to be playing in. And just interestingly, musically, we start off with the clarinet with this melody, then it shifts to an orchestral melody, then we switch to the chorus melody, and then we have it now in the piano. And this sort of call and response of the melody there is very evocative, and I think that melody, there is a desperate fear and concern there in that music. It's a very painful sound. There's a very feeling of concern and fear, and it really paints a beautiful picture of the depth of concern that we probably as soldiers would experience as we marched forward into this operation. And this section, of course, to me, is that we're going to come save these people. We have a job to do. We have a responsibility to protect these people, to liberate this area, to take this bridge, to what have you. There is that real sense of military pride that comes through with that horn and then the orchestral backing there. It's an interesting touch to add that intense bum 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 background there, because that reminds us that no, even though we do have this hope and this desire to help out, there is a major risk that goes along with that. It's pretty interesting to hear this music. This came out in 2002, and I certainly remember playing it, and I remember that land in Normandy and that whole operation, and Medal of Honor as a series was so incredibly important in telling true stories of World War II. As a history buff and a person who appreciates history, I was really blown away by this game when it came out, and I remember playing it on the PS2, and I was so really just like living out those real world situations, and then playing them. I mean, you really don't see that much anymore. The World War II video game has sort of dissipated from our literature and our current stream of gameplay, which makes sense given that, we did have a period of time where we were incredibly saturated with that. So it's definitely interesting to re-listen to some of this, and despite not remembering it, I also think it's cool to see Michael Giacchino as a composer in this, and to see where his career has gone. Yeah, it's really interesting. As always, thanks a ton. It helps if you like this stuff, feel free to subscribe. A like helps a lot. If you want to support the channel, there are links in the About section, but there's certainly never any pressure for that. I do appreciate it, of course. And yeah, thanks a ton, and I will talk to you later.